Yesterday I was blessed by the women's meeting at Bellevue, and then I taught a voice lesson. I've had this student, he's a man about, I'd say in his late 60s, but he's singing more now than he's ever sung in his life, and he is enjoying the opportunity to minister in his church. And yesterday he said, I don't want to be singing for you and have you critique me. I want to talk to you about some other things. I said, oh, okay. And he said, I don't understand nervousness. And I do what you told me to do. I write out the lyrics myself with my own hand, and I study them, and I practice, and I pray about the selection of the song and all of that, but I still get what I feel like is nervousness. And I said, well, you are very confident of what you're going to sing. You know the song. You're not afraid of the audience. No, And I said, well, I have always considered, and I've always told my students, that the adrenaline that comes just before you sing or performing most anyway is simply the desire to please. It is your body getting you revved up and ready to do what you know how to do well. And God is going to not ever leave you or forsake you. And what you consider nervousness is strictly the desire to do well, and you have that. He said, yeah, I do. I want to do my best. And I said, well, I think that's what people call nervousness. It's not that you're afraid or you're scared you're not going to come across. It's basically that you want to do the best job you can, and that's the adrenaline that's going to help it to happen. Well, I had forgotten that I told him to write out the lyrics of, so that because there is a sort of eye mind contact, when you write out the words to something, you remember them better. And you see your own writing in your mind. And he said, well, how do I memorize? I thought we'd covered this a long time ago. I said, well, of course, writing it out helps. And then if you could have any kind of little connection in your mind that gets you from one line to the next, it doesn't even have to make sense. I read a book on how to memorize, and it said that. It said if you can picture, the word swinging on a tree and swinging to the next word, whatever. And he said, well, give me an example. I said, okay, I'm learning. It was enough. And it says, it was enough, the blood that I shed, it was enough that I rose from the dead. And I said, I associate the word blood and the word rose as both red. Shed, red, blood, red, rose, red. It was enough, the blood that I shed, it was enough that I rose from the dead. That connects me with those two words. I just think of a red rose. And of course, it really means resurrection. But it doesn't matter what your little mental trick is to learn something. Go on and use it because it will help you. And then he said, what do you do when you know you have goofed? He said, have you ever goofed? Oh, yes. One of the things is to try not to show it. The audience many times does not know your song. They don't know the words. They don't know the tune sometimes. And if you react like to something you've done wrong, then they know you've done wrong. If you don't react, if you slide right over it, go on about your business, act as if nothing happened, they probably won't know the difference. And that happens. And sometimes you have to cough, and sometimes, you feel like you need to swallow. And those are the times you just say the word, or as long as you're connecting with your audience and you're giving a lyric that blesses people. And he said, how do you know when you're doing well? I feel almost lost in a song when I know the Holy Spirit is taking over and that I'm doing well. It is not I that does well. It is only God. Only God can get you through those times. And when you feel totally surrendered to the Holy Spirit, the music comes through the same way. It can touch somebody else. And the reason I've continued to sing when I don't have a really good voice anymore is that I know the Lord can take what comes out of my mouth and fix it before it gets to the ear of the audience. His Holy Spirit works a work. Whether we are top-notch and capable or not, God still works in us. And I'm so grateful for that. I hope he's still working in you too. But you too need to be prepared and be anxious to do well. God bless you today.